Okay, I'm going to be honest. This is a crazy take. You definitely need to be eating more than 50 grams of protein per day if you want to build muscle and if you want to be healthy. Here are 10 studies that support what I'm saying. Use CS with your FT.
Well, I mean, I appreciate the video. Don't get me wrong. The video is going to be very useful. As you can see, I'm going to use it. I'm going to be using it right now. I'm taking advantage of it. The thing is, clearly you misunderstood the comment. You're clearly not paying attention to the details in the comments. Especially, I was pointing out the fact that it's like you don't need to be consuming 1 gram of protein per body fat or per lean muscle or your goal weight and all that stuff every day because your body's not going to use all that protein every day to recover your muscles. Especially if your muscles only have but so much damage. Let's say you did upper body workout like on Monday, consuming 300 grams of protein. All 300 grams of protein is not going to be used to repair your. Let's say you did chest day, it's not going to repair your chest. Let's say only like 10 grams of that 300 gram protein is used to repair your chest. Then what your body's going to do? The remaining 290 grams of protein. It's not going to use it to build your chest. It already did that. It already repaired the damage to your chest. It's not going to add more protein on top of you. If that was the case, right now, everybody will look like the Incredible Hulk right now. If just eating a lot of proteins equals instant muscle, equals big growth. It doesn't, because it's not like the proteins just keep attaching to your muscles and just keep getting bigger and bigger. You have to damage it, and then it repairs the damage. In other words, the protein fills in the gaps, the tears in between the muscle fibers. So your muscles are damaged. It's just like adding plaster to a wall they got damaged. A wall that has a whole bunch of dents and scratches in it. You put some plaster, a nice thin coat, and boom, now you covered the plaster. I mean, you covered the wall. Now the wall looks brand new. That's how protein works. It just repairs the cracks, the tears in your muscle fibers. That's it. It's not going to, be like, oh, let's add a nice thick, 3-inch layer of muscle over the bicep, and now suddenly, within 24 hours or even within 48 hours, now your bicep is like 5 times the size it used to be. Because it doesn't work that way. That's the point. It doesn't work that way. So there's no need to eat that much protein when your body's not going to use that much protein to build muscles. Especially, he wanted to argue in the video about muscle growth. I mentioned muscle growth at the end of my statement. I was just talking about 50 grams of protein per day minimum, because your body's not going to process within 24 hours. Remember, every day is 24 hours, right? It's not going to process all the protein within the 24 hours, so you don't need to consume a whole bunch of proteins in 24 hours, because all that protein's not going to be used for what you think it's going to be used for, which is muscle growth, but it's not going to be used for that. And that's the main reason y'all take proteins, because y'all trying to use it to grow your muscles. A lot of y'all don't think, oh, protein also is used for other things, right? Skin and whatnot, for creating new cells, because protein is more than just for building muscles. But y'all think, oh yeah, I got protein build muscles, so I gotta eat a lot of protein. Yeah, because y'all are listening to a whole bunch of people telling you the most amount of protein you can consume to get the most out of the protein, because of the fact that you're trying to make sure you have so much protein in your body that your body will use a percentage, not all of it, it's not 100%, a small percentage of the protein, and then actually build muscles. And then whatever is left over will be used for other functions, other processes. A lot of times, all that extra protein is just used as energy, it just gets burned away as energy. If you do your proper Google search of what your body does with protein, you'll understand that your body doesn't use all of the protein you consume. It uses a small percentage of it. Because if it did use all the protein you consume, then you'd be jacked as fuck in 24 hours. You'd be bigger than you've ever been in your whole life. But it doesn't work that way. We wish protein was that magical, but it's not. The body does not process. You do not choose how much protein your body uses. All you can do is put protein in your body and hope your body uses pretty much all of it, ideally for your muscles, but more likely it's not. It's going to use it for other things. So like in the example, you're doing chest day, your body, here's the thing, every day is leg day, so you're always walking, unless you're very lazy, you don't walk, but you're more likely walking a lot. Since you're walking a lot, you're causing a lot of stress, especially if you're 300 plus pounds. You're causing a lot of stress to your leg muscles, so every day is leg day. So a lot of the protein you consume, which is why I recommend a minimum of 50 grams of protein, is that protein specifically for your leg muscles. Then any protein you eat above 50 grams of protein, that's for the rest of your body. That's for your arms, your legs, your shoulders, your neck, your abs, if you do any, any ab work, and the list goes on, right? Anything above 50 grams is for extra stuff. The 50 grams is just for your legs. Just for your legs, just because you're walking. If you do 10,000 steps a day, 50 grams of protein minimum is what you need. And again, it was the idea that was minimum. The fact that you took it as I would say 50 grams a day maximum. No, that's minimum. That's the thing. You did not understand the comment. You didn't even ask me why did I say 50 grams a day. Is that max or minimum? You didn't even ask. You just assume, and that's the problem. It's this idea of like, oh, let's just assume I understood the question, the comment. No, you didn't understand the comment. Because if you understood the comment, you also understand that more than 50 grams a day within 24 hours is going to do nothing. Nothing. Your body's not going to use all those proteins. So all that extra protein you're eating is literally going to be pooped out. So it's a waste. And the thing is, you didn't. And then he in the video was like, "Oh, here's some studies." And it's like, those studies are probably going to show that, people who took a lot of protein was able to increase their strength and their muscles and whatnot within a certain time period of working out. Like, working out. I'm talking about 50 grams of protein a day for people who don't work out. Then at the end of my comment, I mentioned that if you obviously want to grow muscles, 50 grams a day, right, for a whole week, which is 350 grams of protein. So you're still getting your 50 grams of protein. You didn't understand that. I'm talking about take the amount of proteins you normally would eat in one day, right? Spread it out throughout the week, because it'll take a whole week for your body to use all the protein to build your muscles. So why do 300 grams a day when your body's probably only going to use a total for the whole week 300 grams of protein? Everybody's only going to use 300 grams of protein in a week. It makes no sense to eat more, to consume more protein than that, because like I said, your body's not using all of that. So I'm just talking about the minimum. If you do chest exercise on Monday, right, 50 grams of protein every day until the next Monday, it's going to be more than enough protein, because it all adds up for your chest to grow and develop. And why am I saying this? Because this is what I do. I'm not throwing out an arbitrary number. I'm not just making shit up. This is what I've done. I was deliberately looking for what's the smallest amount of protein I can consume every day for a whole week, and every month, and work everything. What's the smallest amount of protein while growing muscle? The way you know you're growing muscles is that you get 5 pounds stronger every week. And I'm getting 5 pounds stronger every week doing this. So I'm telling you what I'm doing. It's working. Therefore, my study, my research says you're wrong. Because I'm talking about 50 grams of protein minimum. I eat more than that. There's times where I eat extra food, and the extra food has extra protein, so I eat more than 50 grams of protein a day. I'm just saying a minimum of 50 grams of protein, which adds up. And since I'm not lifting, I'm not bench pressing every day, right? I don't need to be consuming 300 plus grams of protein a day, because again, like I said, your body does not use all the protein, especially not going to use all the protein to build up my muscles. That's what I mean by not using all the protein. It's not going to use all the protein to build my muscles. I'm only going to use some of it, and whatever's left over is just going to be used for other process. Sometimes it's just going to be wasted. You're just going to shit it out. And I don't want to waste protein. I'd rather have less protein in my body, so that way if my body only uses, if I put in 50 grams of protein, but my body only uses 30 grams, at least I only wasted 20 grams of protein. Instead of putting 300 grams of protein in my body only used 30 grams of protein, so then that's 270 grams wasted. 270 grams that I could have saved for another day that would actually be used. I'm being smart. You know why? Because I am fucking smart. That's the point. I know this shit. I know science. To have some random kid online, you're like, oh, you don't know. No, you don't know. Because you're just repeating shit you heard other people say. To the point where you screenshot like, oh, look, here's some studies. Yeah, random shit that you found on the internet that you were not involved in. You didn't try any of that stuff. It's not like you saw the studies and then like, all right, I'm going to confirm it by trying it out myself and confirm the results. You didn't do that. You just Googled it, made a video showing the screenshot of what you Googled. Like, here, look, here's some stuff I found on the internet that says you're wrong. It doesn't say wrong because you didn't even show the actual information that proves me wrong. You didn't show no studies that shows that if you only consume 50 grams of protein a day for a month, for example, you do not gain muscle. That's the study I want to see. I don't need one study. I don't need multiple studies. Just one study. One study where somebody did that, where they trained for a whole month, multiple months, but I only need 1 month because 1 month is enough to see if you're getting 5 pounds stronger every week with only 50 grams of protein a day. That's all I need to see, because that's what I did, and that's how I know. Like, yeah, 50 grams is more than enough. Because here's the thing: I tried less than 50 grams. I was trying to do just 25 grams, but noticed that 25 grams wasn't enough. I still was sore. I didn't fully recover. I didn't get stronger. If anything, I got weaker because I haven't fully recovered. It's like, damn, it's been a week and I haven't fully recovered. Damn, that's not enough protein. So that's what I'm saying. 50 grams of protein is less. Because when I did the math, 25 grams for 7 weeks, that's less than 300 grams of protein. So then when I bumped up to 50 grams of protein, which is 350 grams a week, then it started working. It's like, there we go. Because it does go back to the idea of essentially 1 gram of protein per body weight, right? Per body weight. But it's not per day, it's per week. Because it takes about a week. Especially if you do some hardcore training, right? It takes about a week for you to fully recover. So since it takes a week to fully recover, why would I eat all the protein that I would need to build my muscles in 1 day? And then do that every day? Because again, you're just overeating. Just like a lot of people overeat calories, there's people who overeat protein. Like I'm saying, scientifically, experimentally, from my experience, and I was only speaking from my experience, I don't speak from bullshit. Definitely I didn't Google this what I said. Oh, 50 grams of protein is all you need because I Googled it. No, I did it. This is what I do. I was trying to eat more grams of protein before. And I'm not saying it didn't work. What I was looking for is like, can I still get the same results of building my muscles, getting 5 pounds stronger every week with less protein? Well, I found my answer. Yes. Yes, there is. There's a way of gaining muscle with less protein. But is it better to eat more protein? Of course. I'm not saying don't eat more protein. What I'm saying is you only need 50 grams of protein minimum a day because it adds up to over 300 grams of protein a week that you can use towards building muscles. And the thing is, most people are lazy, so it's not like, oh, but you need more protein because, all your muscles are going to need protein for something. Most people are lazy, so no, you're not going to need a lot of protein. You're going to need a little bit of protein for your legs, and if you do chest day on Monday, but don't do chest day until next Monday, you don't need a lot of protein for your chest to recover and build muscle. It's going to use a little bit that you consume throughout the week, and then your chest will be stronger, bigger, better, faster. I would know. That bench. So that's why just, the level of ignorance that we have on the internet. People want to repeat stuff they hear and think they know everything because they're repeating something that they hear over and over again. The irony, a lot of lies, especially in the fitness community, unfortunately, there's a lot of lies. And a lot of lies are tallied as truth because there's certain people that keep repeating it over and over again as if it's true. but it's not. I know because I tried it, and it's like, yeah, you can spot reduce fat. Largely through sweating is how you make your stomach smaller. Partly is, yes, water weight. And that's the thing. If there's a lot of water around my stomach, I want to get rid of it. I want to lose that water weight. But on top of that, there's also fat that comes out of your body when you sweat. So I'm going to take advantage of that. And then I'm in a calorie deficit. I'm doing cardio. So I'm going to be slimming down my stomach, all in all. It's just one extra way of slimming down the stomach is through sweating. That's it. It's just one extra tool that we have to help us reach our goals. But instead of people being like, oh, that sounds amazing, let me give it a try. Let's see if it's true. Instead of trying it to see if it's true, they just want to dismiss it because some numbskull on the internet wants to be like, yes, I disagree. You can't because I don't have proof. But other people said it, so I'm going to say so. It's true. It's like, no, you have to prove it. This is the same nonsense I deal with in like other communities, especially like ancient history, where people want to believe that ancient humans weren't smart and they didn't build the pyramids with technology because they weren't smart enough to create technology. They had to do it the hard way. It's like that don't make no sense. To build something that big, a pyramid, you would require a lot of technology. You will have to develop technology to be able to produce something that big, because trying to do it the hard way, it's called hard way for a reason. It's too hard even for humans to do. Not impossible per se, but you're just giving the impression that the humans in the past are not smart enough to create technology. If they're smart enough to create the pyramid, they're smart enough to create the technology necessary to create it. That's what I'm saying. They'll be smart enough to figure out how to use rope and wood and stone and create lever systems and create elevators and all types of. They would have figured out different ways to lift the blocks. They probably would import animals. They probably would import gorillas and have the gorillas help them build the pyramids, or elephants and stuff like that. They would have found some type of way to build the pyramids, to assume that they're not smart. But that's what I'm talking about. It's just that I hate the level of ignorance that people have, that like to assume they know everything when they don't know everything. So much so, it's because they don't even know the most basic thing. That's like, yeah, your body doesn't use a lot of protein. It uses a little bit of protein per process that it's doing, like building muscles, for example. So it's not going to use a lot of protein, especially if you didn't tear that many muscle fibers. Because if you only tore, like, let's say 30 muscle fibers in your chest, you don't need 300 grams of protein to recover that. If anything, you probably only need 30 grams of protein just to repair the 30 muscle fibers you damaged. That's the thing. Like, where's the science that says how much protein is needed to repair one muscle fiber? Where's the research for that? That's what I want to see. I want to see that research. That would be very useful to me to see that research. But no one has that research. No one's showing that research. It's, look, studies that says eat a lot of protein. Yeah, the studies are trying to push the idea of eating a lot of protein so they can sell a lot of protein powders. But here's the thing. Because I'm a history buff, right? I'm into ancient history. People in the past, ancient humans, used to be jacked as fuck. Used to have big muscles. But here's the thing. They didn't have the science of protein that we have now. So they didn't have the whole eat 1 gram of protein, because they probably didn't even know you needed protein to build muscles. They probably didn't. More likely they figured it out. I'm just saying they probably didn't know that. I'm going to assume they just knew, oh, eat animal, I get bigger and stronger. I do what I do, the physical activities I do, eat animal, I get stronger. So they figured out there's a correlation to eating animals and lifting heavy things makes them bigger and stronger. But for them, they probably looked at it like maybe religious and be like, oh, I'm absorbing the essence, the strength of this animal that I'm eating, not realizing, no, it's just protein synthesis, blah, blah, blah. The stuff that we know about now, but those ancient people didn't know, but they're jacked and they're in better shape than most of y'all. This guy's not even in that great shape. Definitely nowhere near the level of fitness that all the guys in the Roman times were. They had way better bodies. And they didn't consume 300 grams of protein a day, for example, because they didn't know that they were supposed to do that. Right? They didn't know that that's the thing. They just ate whenever they felt hungry, and they mainly ate meat, so there was enough protein. I would be surprised that at most they were probably consuming like 80 grams of protein a day and still was gaining muscle. But this ignorance of like, no, because people, science and internet says 1 gram per weight. But you can grow with less, is the point I'm making. Because I'm still growing with less. I just eat some turkey sandwiches and drink a 26 gram protein shake. I've been doing this for a couple of months now. Eating low amounts of protein for years, but I'm just saying recently where I started like really focusing like how little grams of protein can I get away with to build muscles. So basically trying to build muscles on a protein budget, and I figured out, well, 50 grams is more than enough for you to build muscles. That's the whole point. Because I did the actual research, which is I tried it myself. I didn't just Google it and think that I know something without actually knowing from actual experience. I prefer to hear people who try something to tell me something. If you never bench press, don't tell me about bench pressing, because you don't know. You never lifted weights, so don't tell me about weights. So if you never try 50 grams of protein a day for a month, don't tell me anything about how much protein you're supposed to consume, because you didn't even try this. I tried it and it works. Works for me at least. Doesn't have to work for you.